Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's very nice to sit here and take a couple breaths. I'm sure some of you have those mornings that are like, woo! That's been mine. But I love this, the idea of changing your beliefs. So today's March 18th, reading out of 365 Days to Embracing Forbidden Emotions, a daily guide to peace and fulfillment. And let's see what it has to say. Every great and deep difficulty bears itself its own solution. It forces us to change our thinking in order to find it. Niels Bohr. Yeah, I'm going to read that again. Every great and deep difficulty bears in itself its own solution. It forces us to change our thinking in order to find it. I guess it's Niels Bohr. In tapping, one of the coolest features is its ability to generate change in my beliefs. This is called having a cognitive shift. The brain can see something from a new perspective, and this new perspective changes me on the inside. When I get stuck in the difficulty of a problem, I don't have access to the less reactive, more creative, critical thinking part of my brain, the prefrontal cortex. However, when I tap on the problem, I release the energy that's been given to the problem. I want to read that again. However, let me read this whole part again. When I get stuck in the difficulty of a problem, I don't have access to the less reactive, more creative, critical thinking part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex. However, when I tap on the problem, I release the energy that's been given to the problem. I release the energy that's been given to the problem. Can never hear that enough. This lowers cortisol levels in my body. With less cortisol, also known as the stress hormone, my nervous system calms down, and this gives me access to my less reactive, creative, critical thinking part of the brain that helps me generate solutions. If I want to consider the spiritual side of things, I can virtually get the same results by setting the intention that, despite the difficulty, the perfect solution is already chosen. I need not believe this, but if I did believe this was possible, how differently might I feel? Even if I don't believe this idea, does it feel at least a little better than the idea that having a difficulty can't find a solution to? I have a difficulty I can't find the solution to. Whether I follow the way of science or the way of spirituality, the results are the same. To find that solutions come either from a calmer mind, a higher power, or both is noteworthy. Okay, thought for today. What if today I can consider that there is a solution to any problem, and finding relief from my spinning thoughts is a great place to start? That's why I love the melding of, say, spirituality and the science, because it doesn't matter if you just want to go, okay, I'm sorry, I've got to let a dog in and a cat out, so you're coming with me. The family farm. Come on, Grace. Okay, don't. Just stay there and look pretty. Okay. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's why I love the melding of science and spirituality. Hey, Barbara. You got to see that whole fun thing going on there. Because it doesn't matter. If I don't believe in any sort of spiritual side, it's like, well, I don't have access to the prefrontal cortex. I don't have access when I'm stressed out about a problem. I do not have access to this part of the brain, the slower thinking, creative, solution-oriented part of the brain. If I believe in spirituality and I go, you know what? Like, what if I, offer this up and say, just guide my way, give me a solution. And what if that solution can come in a different way? So it's just, to me, it's like a win-win either way. And if you believe in both like I do, then it's like, well, which one feels better right now? So let's tap. Even though I can so often get caught up in the problem, And solutions aren't available when I'm stuck in the problem. I choose to acknowledge I feel this way now. Even though it's really easy to get caught in the problem, to ruminate over the problem, I choose to acknowledge my feelings now. Even though I can get really stuck ruminating over what's wrong, what's not going to work out, what I'm afraid of, and I can't find solutions when I'm in that place. I choose to honor this truth right now and go to the eyebrow. When I get stuck in a problem, I feel so stuck. And my mind just takes off. And it sends me down a rabbit hole of everything that's not going to work out, how and why it's not going to work out, and everything I'm terrified of. And I can't help this. It's really not my fault. It started in early childhood, where all the programming came into being. But what I can do is I can interrupt these thoughts. If I think I have to stop them, that's a lot of pressure. But if I come to realize I can interrupt them, I don't have to stop them, that makes a huge difference. So I start to catch myself in the act when I'm ruminating on a problem and just interrupt it. And I might not feel anything differently for a while, but if I can just act like I can trust the process, that the more I interrupt something, over time, it's going to be different for me. And I'll start to get lots of evidence that I'm shifting and changing this. Little indications, like I feel less terrified. I'm a hair less afraid. But I honor the process of interrupting my thoughts. And over time, I will see that makes all the difference. And I really like that idea a lot. So what if I could commit just for today to interrupt the thoughts that want to take me out? And what if over time, I recognize the relief I get and see the evidence of the changes? Oh, take a breath. I have this on a stand. Oh, that's so funny. I had an affirmation just came up. I am okay. It's a really good thing to tell yourself, especially when you're like freaking out or not. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. You may not feel okay It's like, I'm okay. I'm okay. What if I can be okay? What if I am going to be okay? What if I will be okay? This was, again, I mean, you hear me talk about this all the time, but it's just, repetition is the mother of skill. Again, if we're sitting there and just allowing the thoughts to take us out and to ruminate on them, it just creates more problems for us. But when I finally realized I can't stop my thoughts, but I can interrupt them, that I can do. That I have some sense of, doership over. I can, oh my God, I don't want to be thinking this. And it doesn't mean that the thoughts are going to change in the moment, but the more consistently you do that over time, you are going to continue to get evidence that that's changing. I do this when I hike in the morning now. I tap. And sometimes when I wake up in the wee hours of the morning, I just lay there and I go out on the couch and I tap. And I love it. It's quiet. It's this great time. My cat, Grace, curls, my permanent appendage curls up with me. And I just lie there and I tap. And I realize I'm doing something so good for myself. I'm not upset that I'm awake. I'm not fixated on that. I'm like, no, this is like the perfect time to tap. And I'm noticing, even when I'm doing different tapping, I'm noticing the shifts in my thinking. I'm noticing, oh, wow, that feels less true. Oh, wow, that feels truer. And that's the evidence that you're changing the biology and the physiology, and your cells are changing, and over time you're going to see results. And to me, the greatest gift we can give to ourselves is the gift of interruption. Two things: practicing catching ourselves when we judge ourselves, and then the gift of interrupting the thoughts, like, who's running my show? Okay, I'm going to interrupt that. And can I practice judging myself just a little less in this moment? Barbara, always love to see you here. So that's it for today, and see you back here later. Bye now.